today or tonight, you're going to learn 3 really great recipes that'll take you throughout every holiday and all the years. But this one is kind of fun because Thanksgiving and pumpkin kind of go together. So the cookies, I actually bought mine. I think these were from Trader Joe's. They were so peppery. When you swallow them, you're like, ugh. I'm Chef Ellen, by the way, for the people who don't know me. They're very peppery, like I'm trying to tell you. Anyhow, okay. So I took a baggie and, you needed 2 cups. Just don't look at my measures because, like I say, I'm splitting mine in half. And I just took a hammer and just very gently on a board, I just smashed them. You could do a rolling pin. You could put them in a food processor. You could put them in a little mini spinner. It doesn't really matter. Well, here they are. Okay, so they're pretty crushed. And springform pan right now, you can go ahead and put your sugar, and I'm looking at my recipe because, like I said, I don't want to get you mixed up with my half measures. Go ahead and put in 1 tablespoon of sugar into your springform, 6 tablespoons of melted butter. This is making the crust. First step, making the crust of the pumpkin cheesecake. So go ahead and
I'm sorry. So you take the sugar and you put it directly in the spring foam. What?
In because this recipe was made by a pastry chef who decided she was not going to use any equipment. Nothing
Okay.
in. She was just going to do for everybody who didn't have food processors and all those kind of things. She's just showing you the old-timey way of doing things without machines. And she's a young girl, by the way. But anyway, okay, so I'm just kind of stirring it up. So all we have for the crust is.
I hate to back up. Okay, how much sugar?
1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon of sugar and 2 cups of crumbs.
Correct.
And the melted butter.
And the 6 tablespoons of butter. I'm just kind of, some of my little crumbs could be a little bit smaller, so I'm kind of going over them a little bit.
Thank you.
This is okay. Got it. So we need to put in
2 cups of the crumbs, 1 tablespoon of the sugar, then the 6 tablespoons of melted butter. And you can press that in. You can put a baggie over your hand, or you can take like a little bowl here and just, like make it flat, your little crumbs.
open if I'm stirring.
If your oven is 350 degrees, and this is going to cook for 10 minutes, and then we're going to put it aside and wait till it cools down a little bit, and we can be making the filling while that's happening. You're going to be alone when this is finished. I will not be here anymore. So what I'm teaching you is the crust, the filling, and then when the cheesecake is done, I'll show you what to do, but we won't be with each other when that happens. Tell you a little bit about the cheesecake. It can be frozen. It's not a problem. So, like another Thanksgiving when you had time to do it ahead, you could have done it.
Is this crust kind of dry, not super moist?
Yeah, okay. Mine looks pretty good. It's got enough. Yeah, it's going to be crispy. You want to kind of work that. I guess you could say a little dry, maybe.
Right now. Because right now it's a little dry.
Okay, well, mine is not dry. And then 6 tablespoons of butter. It looks like perfect in there at this point. And I even have a residual. Did you take all your butter out like this, with a scraper, like a silicone?
Yeah, it's getting moister as I mix it.
Okay, good. Very good. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we put our cookies away for our husband or our significant other, all the extra cookies. Justin, you can have one over there if you want. We're done with those cookies. Okay, so ready? It goes in the oven. Now, a lot of times it's good to put the foil around the springform just so if it decides it wants to leak, you'll be protected with your foil a little bit better.
Taking the trouble to learn how to write.
Okay, that's it. So you don't have like any holes, kind of peeping.
Pressing it with the ball.
All right, 10 minutes in the oven, 350 in the back of your oven. First step, add the crust.
That I know.
Okay.
350, 15 minutes.
Okay, my oven's not all the way warm yet, but.
Did I change that yet?
No, you didn't, Justin. I assume you went to the full Zoom thing.
No, I didn't.
Betty's pants. Here, I don't know what she switched. Is okay.
Yeah, is the cream cheese should be softened. You could stick it in the microwave, you know, without the foil on it if you needed to soften it. Mine's been sitting on the counter for a couple of hours though. See, a little bit soft. So once again, this pastry chef did not want to use any equipment, which I love. In your bowl that's going in the cream cheese, which is the filling, will be 1 1/4 cups of sugar. Just drop it into the bowl. 1 1/4 cups of sugar. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. This is really very good quality cinnamon. It's in just a commercial jar that I put it in, but I bought it. Oh, so good. It's really strong. It's from Central Market, but you know, it'll show you that it's atoms, but I threw it in this jar. So the cinnamon, really good quality cinnamon is the point I'm making. Try to get that next time you make it or whatever. All right, so a teaspoon of cinnamon is in the bowl with 1 1/4 cups of sugar. And then you need jarred ginger, okay, the jar, and you need 1/2 teaspoon of the ginger. What we're doing is we're flavoring the cream cheese right now. And then you need salt, because of course there's always salt in desserts, and you need 1/4 teaspoon.
And how much of the cinnamon?
Okay, the cinnamon, 1 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, 1 1/4 cup of sugar. There's no order to it really. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And now we're just going to throw the cream cheese in. The last thing that we're missing is an egg, but we're going to wait on that till this is kind of creamy, and then we'll put the egg in, and then we're done with the filling. Very easy. This is a very delicious cheesecake, by the way, if you like pumpkin. Some people just love pumpkin. Okay, so now just use my muscle, and I just keep mushing it around till I get it, you know, kind of creamy looking, and then I'm done.
This organic brown sugar in a jar, which is what I was told. And
You're the machine. There's no plug-in things for this.
it was 1/4 cup of salt. I mean, 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
That's funny. Yeah, teaspoon. See, my cream cheese is nice and soft, making this job super easy. Okay, the next thing you're going to do when you get it kind of like how you like it, the creaminess, you're going to put your egg in and your pumpkin. So first you're going to do your eggs. You need 2. Throw an egg in there, and then keep whisking or stirring.
You're mixing the pumpkin's not in there yet.
There goes my egg. Bingy. Bing. And the next thing, after I feel like the egg is incorporated correctly, then I'm going to, you have 2 eggs. I'm going to put in the pumpkin, the can of pumpkin. And then we are done with the filling. And we're going to move on to our green beans. And last, we're going to do our cranberries, just to tell you the schedule.
Cranberries are great.
That was for another lesson we did.
Yeah.
For the bingo night. We were the intro or whenever, the intermission. Okay, so this looks good. It's nice and creamy, milky almost. And now I'm going to throw in my pumpkin. I threw my pumpkin into this container, so because I told you that I've already hacked this recipe. I've made 2. This will be the second cheesecake. So throw your pumpkin in, the whole can.
I'm not even there yet. Okay.
Okay, no problem, because our crust is still cooking, so we got plenty of time.
My oven's not even 350 yet.
Okay, no worries, really.
Okay.
All right. Okay, my filling has the last thing, which is the pumpkin. And oh, it's gonna be so good. This recipe is so delicious. And when it's in the oven and I'm not around for the hour, it's gonna puff up a little bit because of the egg in there.
Yeah, we have to get it soft.
See how nice my batter is? That is going to be the world's best pumpkin cheesecake. Look how simple. Did you like the recipe? It's pretty simple, right? What questions do we have? Anybody? They're not on mute, are they?
It's up to them. Some might be, but not all.
Okay. Does anybody have a question? Because I'm going to set the filling aside, waiting for my crust to cook, and not only waiting for the crust, but then we have to cool it down 10 more minutes and then put the filling in, okay? And then we'll talk a little bit more about what's going to happen there.
You said 10 minutes.
We got to decide. Here is the prototype of the cheesecake done. Okay, can you see it from all angles? You might say, what are those nuts? Okay, that's good. You might say, what are those pecans? Okay, because in this little jar right here, this little bowl, I made a praline sauce. You don't have to make a sauce. I was just going to show you another thing, as we got going, but so your friends might like a little drizzle of praline, and then, you can use your praline later on over your vanilla ice cream. Or I do a plain cheesecake like Sara Lee, remember in the olden days, but then the topping sour cream, I eliminate the sour cream topping and I put the praline topping, okay? So does everybody have a little piece of pumpkin cheesecake? Because on Thanksgiving, people really don't have a lot of room for dessert, right? And you can see the crust at the back there? It's maybe not the most beautiful piece because I had to take the first one. And then you can put a little pumpkin spice on the whipped cream, or you can put a little cinnamon, okay? And now Justin, if he wants to try this, is going to try it.
Yes.
Make that sacrifice for us.
So I just want to show you before we leave.
Good.
Okay, now this is the praline plain cheesecake, because that praline sauce is pretty cool. If you'll write me if you want to. I'm Chef Ellen at earthlink.net is my email. Chef Ellen. What does that mean?
Feedback.
I got it.
Okay, does everybody see?
Nope.
All right, Jay, get this picture. All right, here's my cheesecake that's plain, like I'm telling you, Sara Lee. Can you get it?
Well, I'm not on yet. Hold on.
You're good.
Oh, there it is. Okay, see, it's just a piece of cheesecake in the refrigerator. See, and then I put all that praline topping on top. But some people like it sour cream, and some people like it with the praline in my household. So I have to make a few of each. And so that is what I'm showing you, just because the praline topping would be really yummy with your pumpkin.
That's where there's lumps in our cheese.
Lumps in the cream cheese is not good, right?
No, mine's very smooth because mine's been sitting out, and I guess, I don't know, I think the instructions told y'all to soften it, but then maybe we didn't say how long. A couple hours you have to soften it. Okay, folks, we're going to move on to green beans. Is that okay? We're going to put our filling aside because, like I told you, we have to wait for the crust to finish and cool. And then we add the filling. So we have to get off of the cheesecake train and go to the green bean train now. Your green beans should be cleaned, okay? I've already washed mine. I'm going to wait for you to do the same. And, take off, there's a little curl. You don't take that off. See the little curl? But then there's a stem, a hard stem on the other end. You pinch that off, okay? Some people line up their beans, a bunch of them, and then just whack them with their chef knife across once, to get off that little stemmy thing. So mine are washed. Here they are. And they're ready to go into this skillet here. So there's my skillet, big skillet, because there's 2 pounds of beans that we're cooking with. And maybe if you're going to not cook that many, then you'll just listen to the recipe and then divide in your head what to do. Okay, so far in this pan, I just have water and salt. And I'm going to tell you the
Yes.
measure as soon as I find it myself. Okay.
How much water? I'm just halving it because
Green beans almondine. Okay, an old timey recipe, but it is like so fast and perfect for the holiday because it's all done on stovetop and you can get it out of the way and use your oven for other things. That's why I like it. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you what's in there is the water with half a cup. Okay, we're going to talk about the measures for 2 pounds of beans. Okay, so you have to do your math if you only got 1 pound. So 2 pounds of beans, we need half a cup of water in the pan right now. You could do that. And let's see, and a half a teaspoon of salt. That's all that's in that pan right now. And you need a lid for it too. You're going to need a lid. Okay, so you are going to prep your lemon if you want to. That's going to be later for the lemon. You'll need 2 teaspoons of lemon just squeezed into something like I just did mine. Just put 2 teaspoons in a little container, something like this, so that it's ready to go when I'm ready.
Okay. All right, you lost me after I got my salt and my water in the pot.
That's it. And next, you're going to, you want to squeeze 2 teaspoons of lemon and just put it aside if you want to prep. That's called mise en place, when you get all your stuff kind of lined up so that when you get ready to cook, you can go faster. Mise en place. But anyway, you need 2 teaspoons of lemon set aside. You're not using those now. 2 teaspoons of lemon, and then you're going to need 3 tablespoons of butter. And it's not melted or anything. It's just, 3 tablespoons. Okay, so in another skillet, the almondine part, there's my beautiful almonds. See, look, there's slivered almonds and there's sliced almonds. These are sliced with the brown edges. Can you see? You got me? Okay, get back in, John.
Well, go ahead, Shay. You can.
Oh, you're very orange. Your arms.
Your arms.
You're very orange. Jay is helping out. Husband Jay, he's being a big trooper here. Okay, so these are the almonds. Now, I'm going to explain the recipe before we proceed. You're going to take a dry skillet and your nuts are in there.
Dry skillet.
Yeah, a little one. Okay, all your almonds are in there, and you need a third of a cup, approximately, of almonds. Third of a cup. And what's going to happen? You can just kind of listen to the recipe. Then I'm going to put the butter in, and then we're going to, make meuniere. Meuniere is like brown butter, and then the almonds will get even toastier and more delicious without burning them. We don't want to burn them. And
What?
after we put that aside, that's when the lemon goes on top with the butter and the almonds. And that's going to be the topping for the beans. This is a great recipe. You're going to love it.
Did we start doing that?
Head is off, but that means because they're covered.
Well, because
Is that
you're covered by their.
Yeah, okay.
You're good. You're good. You're covered by their process.
I feel like I'm being copied.
I
Okay,
have
for the beans?
I think it's
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
We put the almonds now, will they still be good for Thursday or will they be soggy?
Less than 3/4.
We cook them.
Let me think. For Thursday, what I'd probably do is, separate them out. Put them in a container and then put them on top of the beans when you're about ready.
Two. We just need one.
It's not exactly soggy, but you're talking about almonds in melted butter anyway, and lemon.
Oh, that's true. All right, thank you.
Dry skillet, your fire is on, and you are just going to watch these carefully like a hawk, and try not to burn them, but also get them a tiny bit toasty where you can smell them. And let's see.
We have so many lemons on a lemon tree. I wish I could give everybody lemons.
Yeah, that's neat.
I could trade you some grapefruits for some lemons.
Oh my God, grapefruits. Our neighbors give us grapefruits and we juice them immediately and soak them in vodka. Oh my God.
If you use tequila, you get a Paloma.
Well, it's a salty dog when you use vodka and salt the rum.
Okay.
Done because I did a little bit ahead, but they take approximately it depends on your stovetop, if you're on electric, if you're on gas, but these took about 4 to 6 minutes. Watching them like a hawk though, you better watch.
And when do you add the lemon?
Not yet, hold on.
Not yet, okay.
So right now, I'm going to put the butter into the almonds. Oh, that is my crust from the cheesecake ready. Is yours ready yet? Okay, is your crust ready? Mine just came out of the oven. Crust for the cheesecake.
Mine's about a minute away.
This is you want one of these?
Yes.
Is she calling back?
Okay, so now,
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm listening.
okay, now we add the butter to the pan and the nuts. That's step 2. Add your butter. Once your nuts are the color you want them to be, put your fire back on and start putting your butter into the almonds.
Yeah.
That's it?
You need to stir constantly. This is butter and almonds that have been toasted, and now you're adding some butter and you're melting that in the pan. And you're stirring constantly. This is going to be the topping for the beans. Delicious. And as soon as this gets melted, whoever asked about the lemon, that's when we need the lemon off heat. You try not to cook with lemon juice because it dissipates fast and it's an acid, and we're trying to keep it pure, you know? So you'll remember the recipe. It's just at first the butter and the almonds, the toasted almonds, and it's looking really good. And I'm trying to get it to Meunier right now, which I told you is like brown butter, which makes it nutty and more delicious.
Yeah.
That again?
Just turn the timer on.
Okay, so all I'm doing right now is just watching it. Making sure nothing's burning. It's beautiful right now, golden. And then I'm going to throw my 2 teaspoons of lemon in there. In just a second. When I deem this to be the right color for my taste, then I'll put the lemon in. And you know, this is what's clever about this recipe, because you probably have never heard of putting lemon in there. If you do green beans, almond beans. Okay, mine is like the nuts. I don't want to burn my nuts. I want my butter to brown. So I'm kind of being really careful now. We're at the last stage. It's very foamy. The butter is foaming everywhere now, which is fine. Just waiting for it to brown a little bit more without burning the nuts. A little bit of strategy there.
Why do you think we are?
I smell burning.
Okay, I'm going to say done because I don't want them to go too far. Okay, so I'm going to put them aside right here. Like I said, you don't want to put lemon when you're on fire.
What?
Can we do it again?
And now, see, here's my 2 teaspoons of lemon. They're going in right now. Listen to that sizzle. Whoa, better be careful. I should have warned you that. Okay, this is the topping for the beans. Was that easy or not? And of course, you might be saying, oh, maybe I'll put mushroom next time. That could be fun. It would be the same thing. Okay, these are getting really dark, so guess what? Better get a bowl. Crash, crash. Okay, the reason is because they're continuing to cook, and I don't want that to happen. My skillet was very hot, so get a bowl before you burn your nuts. You don't need it. And your directions even tell you that, but I was skipping that step. Your directions will tell you get a bowl right away, and of course that was the reason. Because they knew that, you know, your pan's hot and your nuts are going to continue to burn if you don't watch. Okay, now we just take that skillet that had the water and the salt. Remember the big skillet with the lid? And all we're going to do is throw our beans. Can you see over here? See our beans? Our green beans are washed and they're de-stemmed, and now I'm throwing them into this big skillet over here. Okay, and then I'm turning on my fire under the beans. do is cover it. And then every so often I'll stir it around. And this is gonna take approximately 8 minutes, and then you're gonna have a dish. And so right now you should have thrown your beans into water and salt, turn your fire on, and stir them occasionally, keep the lid on, lift it up, stir it occasionally, 8 to 10 minutes until they become like you like them tender. Some people like them more crispy, some people like them a little bit more limp. It'll be your choice on that. And that's it, that's the recipe. So we're just waiting for beans to cook. Okay, who got their crust out? Everybody's crust is out for the cheesecake? Everybody's making cheesecake, is your crust out?
Yes,
Can you, everybody?
crust is out.
Crust is out and it's just cooling, and we have our filling made, so we're doing good. And you know, I have a lot of almonds here, and I'm thinking to myself, since they cooked a tiny bit more than I would like, although they are kind of perfect for other people, I'm gonna put some raw ones just so they can mix in a little bit. You know, to kind of save me, like they're not all as dark. That's what I'm thinking. Always have to be thinking when you're always have to try to correct your. Okay, I'm looking under here for my beans. I'm just kind of looking at what's going on. Nothing's going on much right now.
When you're done, I put the-
Now, if you wanted to now, you could go ahead and wash your berries. Your cranberries, we're going to use a bag of cranberries. You can go ahead and get those washed. As for cranberries, you could also be cutting up your pear. Just peel a pear. You can use two nice pears. I've already cut mine. Okay. Mine are cut just into little chunks. Can you see them? See, they're just little chunks.
Yeah,
Are they, no, I can't see how small they are. Are they diced or, oh, they're big pieces.
Chunky.
Did you say to peel the pears?
Peel the pears.
Can you leave the peel on if you want?
No, that will not be good. That will start falling apart in your, no. Pear peel is not, yeah, no. No.
Pear peel.
Your peel.
Peel, not good.
All right, can you give us a moment to peel our pears? Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
And wash your berries. Jay was a very good photographer.
No, it's good. We're really capturing it. Better than last time.
And for those who still want to be a little ahead, even, we're not rushing you, but you could be peeling a little bit of your ginger. Sometimes people like to use a spoon to peel, the back of a spoon, but I just like to use my regular peeler. And I just peeled the top of this ginger a little bit because we're going to use this is for the cranberries, we're going to use a microplane and go in with the fresh ginger in a little bit.
I'll see it, but I'll show it too.
Beans again, I'm going to keep looking at them to see what they're doing. I hear noise, so that's a good sign. And basically, I'm just tossing them around with my tongue here. Take the lid off, toss them around, and just wait till they get that limp look or the color you want them to be, and then you're done with this. But you're going to get that water out in a little bit. Don't worry. Okay, so we're just monitoring them now. That's it. Monitoring your beans. Would you like to?
Here, the lemon.
Justin has eaten all the cheesecake while you weren't looking. I just asked him if he liked it. And there's nothing there. It's all gone. Oh, that's fun. Okay, now moving on, but not fast, and don't feel pressured. We'll keep repeating everything. Now you need a pot for the cranberries, about this size. And in the pot, it's going to be water, salt, cinnamon, and I'll tell you the measures. You guys are getting a lot done tonight. You're getting 3 really great recipes, I think. Okay, so in a pot, I put, for the bag, 3/4 of a cup of water. So everybody do that. Get a pot and measure 3/4 cup of water and throw that into there with, will probably freak you out, a cup of sugar, but you know that berries are very tart, super tart. So in my pot, I am putting the sugar, 1 cup of sugar. Back to our cinnamon again, 1/4 teaspoon. What you're making is a bath for the cranberries to float in. Like, you know, if you were like putting in all these, I don't take baths, but whatever. If you were making a bubble bath or some kind of special.
That was a cup of sugar, right?
1/4 teaspoon of
1
something.
cup. Okay, so far in the pot, I have 3/4 cup of water. I have 1 cup of sugar. I have 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. Here's the cinnamon. No, you don't see it. 1/4 a teaspoon of cinnamon. And the same of salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then what we haven't done yet is the ginger, but that's going to be, that could be now too. Okay, hold on. All right, so here's my microplane. Some people turn it this way, and can you get my picture? Some people, yeah, some people do it this way where they're scraping it, but I like to grate, see with it up to my base so that I can see the ginger collecting. See, look, see the ginger's collecting in there, and I can see that happening instead of going, you know, the other way. So I'm going to collect approximately a tablespoon. This is a tablespoon right here. Wait, let's see. Okay, this is a tablespoon, so I'm collecting approximately that much of the ginger. It smells fabulous into these berries.
Into the berries, okay.
Well, or you can put it in your pot because it's kind of like, doesn't matter because in a minute we're putting the berry. Let's see. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I told you wrong. Put it in your pot. I totally told you wrong. Yeah, put it in your pot. Sometimes when you make a recipe 1,000 times, you still can't remember things. You still screw it up. Okay, so there's my ginger. It just depends on how much ginger you love. I want to put it pretty much in there because that is one of the great flavors paired with the pear. Paired with the pear.
Ask how much of the ginger?
How much ginger?
Tablespoon. You'll be grating for a little bit of time.
You're breaking up.
1 tablespoon. You'll be grating, you know, for a little bit of time to get a tablespoon of the ginger grated. Okay, and meanwhile, I'm going to look at my beans again to see how they're doing. Because, you know, cooking is like you're here, you're not finished this dish, you start another dish. Okay, my beans are looking great, but they're still not ready. Okay, so let's review what's in our pot. Your hand, you're covering up. Okay, in our pot over here, in the cranberry pot, 3/4 cup of water with 1 cup of sugar, and then we flavored the pot, cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, the same measure of cinnamon and salt, and then we put in a tablespoon of ginger, and that's where we are now.
Yes.
Now we're going to dissolve. You know, sugar is gritty. When you stir it, you can kind of feel the grains of grittiness, right? So we are going to turn on fire for our little bath that we're heating up. And this bath is going to be the delicious background for the berries. And they're going to pop open into this mixture, and then their essence is going to go into this sugar, ginger, deliciousness and mix it in with the berry juice. And you're never going to want cranberries with orange again. I know orange is popular, but I am really a fan of it.
I don't think you do anything.
Okay, I still feel sugar, so I'm just stirring until the sugar dissolves in my pot. And then the next step will be all the berries will go in there. Just a minute.
Oh, my sugar's melting. They're not popped open. They will pop open.
The pear, you might be thinking, well, where's the
20%.
pear? The
Yeah.
pear and the cranberries go together
Blueberry.
as a
Oh,
pear.
really?
The pear and the cranberry
20%.
in just a
Okay.
minute. Right now, all we're trying to do is dissolve our sugar. I still feel it like at the bottom of the pan, of the pot. So I don't want to put my berries in until my sugar is mixed in with all that delicious cinnamon water. And now I'm looking at my beans again. They're still looking good. I'm gonna turn it down a little because I'm losing my water here. And then I might like see if I like the texture of the beans now, I might go ahead and call it done. My water is gone from the beans, but I've been on hot. Oh, I'm gonna try to taste this.
Will be crispy.
Perfect. These are perfect the way I like them. They bend, and they still have a little snap to them too. Perfect. And the lucky thing is, all the water is already evaporated because at another time you can leave the lid off and evaporate your water. But since I had mine on high, they are good to go. So now I need a serving bowl of some kind. Let me think where I can get one fast.
Ever since I was a child, I thought that green beans weren't cooked enough, would kind of squeak on your teeth when you eat them. I always insist that green beans are cooked a lot.
Okay, you want them limp and soggy, right?
I don't want them to squeak on my teeth.
I'm just gonna grab some bowl that's not attractive. Just so you can see this braided, I'm gonna put the beans in here.
No, I don't know what she's doing.
Dipping out her green beans out.
You put them in a different bowl, a big bowl, the green beans?
Yeah, I know, I'm just kind of rushing, you know, I have the beautiful bowls and stuff, but they're in my husband built me a closet with all my big things in it. So it's not in the kitchen. They're pretty bowls, not in the kitchen. Okay, now I'm gonna take the almonds and the butter and the lemon and just kind of push them over there. I'm not gonna do the whole thing, just a little bit for right now.
What is it? What is in that bowl?
Okay, well, these are my beans, look.
Okay, got it.
Just put the almondine
And then
on
you
top.
put the almondine on top?
Correct. And then you season with more salt and pepper, but we try to stay away from salt in my house. So I'm not salting them, but you could, of course. And there's a salt in the butter. It's not really in the butter, but it tastes like there's salt and butter sometimes, even when it says it's unsalted. To me, it tastes salty. Okay, my cranberries are ready to hit the bath. Be careful, they can splash you. And my sugar is dissolved.
All melted.
And my cranberries, all I need to do now, and if you have grandchildren or kids that love to cook, this is the most fun part for children. They love to come by the stove and wait for the berries to pop open. And they love to tell you when that happens.
Doesn't have the pear in there yet. She told me to put the pear in there.
Was the pear in there with your cranberries or no?
Oh, thank you for good. You go to the head of the class. Who is that? Raise your hand. Thank you. You saved us. You're so right. But nothing is wrong. Everything's good. Thank you for telling me that.
Woo!
I don't know when I would have noticed. You know, I've been cooking Thanksgiving meals for everybody. I've got so many deliveries tomorrow, and then Thursday I have deliveries. We're staying home, just the two of us, so we're not going anywhere for
What
Thanksgiving.
about me? Not invited?
So I took a lot of orders, and it's like I think my brain is fried. I hope I'm doing good enough job for you guys.
4 of us. I didn't want to overdo it. I could always get more.
You should have seen this kitchen today and yesterday. Woo!
Kind of like what I put on salmon and stuff.
Okay,
Burn the almonds a little bit.
I'm really excited about the beans. Oh, Justin needs to taste the beans. Okay, let's get him some.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I know.
Let Mikey taste them.
You're supposed to be stirring it.
Okay.
Remember that commercial? Let Mikey taste it. We're gonna let Justin taste these beans.
Well, she's just sitting there. Should we be stirring the berries at all or just leaving them in the heat?
Kind of, yeah. I'm waiting for them to pop. When they
Okay.
hear a pop, I'll tell you. Then I'd be stirring them and then wait to taste this. Okay, here's your beans. Justin's getting beans. Justin's
How much heat on the berries? A medium?
Well, I'm kind of weird. I'm like on high for everything. You know, I just put everything on high. Oh, watch out, you might get popped. Okay, so they're gonna pop. I can tell they're almost ready. And you don't want to pop 100% of them. I don't usually. I like to pop just some. And then what happens is really, you can make your cranberries. There's many things about this cranberry recipe. You can make it a week ahead and freeze it. And then defrost it for Thanksgiving. No problem. It works perfect in the freezer too. Or you can eat it. You can make it the day of Thanksgiving, and when your guests are coming, you know, in your buffet to 2021, when we can have a buffet again, you can just eat them hot next to the turkey. I love them hot, but I love them cold too. They get gel, you know, like cranberries, and they the juices and stuff kind of gel a little bit, and then you can have it cold. But I want my turkey to stay hot, so I like to know that my gravy's hot and my cranberries are hot, and so it, you know, kind of goes together for my brain. And I thank the pear lady again. Thank you very much for saving the day there. Now, we are probably cooled our crust enough to go ahead and put in our cheesecake batter. So a bain-marie, while we're waiting for the cranberries to go, a bain-marie is hot water into the pan, and then your cheesecake sits in. Supposedly you don't get the crack on top, but it's like a slow, gentle cook, like a sous vide. But really, you still get that crack. I don't know how to avoid that crack. Okay, so I'm just kind of heating up some water. You can put in the microwave. And I usually like to take my fat separator and put the water in here so that I can, you know, accurately put it into my 9x13. So we'll set that up real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna heat some water.
So your oven is preheated to 350 for your cheese. It's gonna take about an hour. But anytime somebody tells me it's gonna take that long, I usually start looking at it at 40 minutes, just because. Okay, so my foil is going around my cheesecake here, crimp it around so it doesn't leak anywhere in a minute. Then I'm gonna take my filling. I'm gonna pour my filling into this cheesecake, into this region. Our lovely cheesecake. Oh, my berries. Take a picture of these berries on the stove. They're looking good, looking good. They're popping. They're juicy. Oh my God, this is so good. I love it. I didn't have cranberries. I wouldn't even want Thanksgiving. That's how much I love them.
Boiling.
Okay, I am getting all my, I love to use rubber spatula, silicone to get all your ingredient out of the pan when you're scraping.
Warming the water for some reason.
Okay, my berries are done. Finito.
Yes. I think the cheesecake in there first.
How can you tell your berries are done?
Okay, that's such a good question. Okay, they're done because they popped, and mine are popping open. They're cracked and open, and the juices came out. Now it said I don't want 100% because you want to. I don't want 100% popped. Okay. When those cool in a minute, you have to stay on until you taste those because I want to hear what you think. Okay, so right now I'm just scraping my cheesecake into this bain-marie setup here in a minute, which is hot water into my sheet, my 9x13.
Wait,
Oh, it's gonna fit.
she set that in there.
I guess. But she hadn't put any water in it yet.
Okay, I got you.
Oh, the batter tastes really good, right? Taste the batter. Did you taste the cheesecake batter a little bit? Hello? Anybody home?
You're too
How come
busy.
they're not talking to me?
You're too busy. I mean, they're busy.
They're busy. We are done. Look how fast I do lessons.
Well, a couple people are up from.
I'm fast. Okay, so I'm going to take my hot water and put it into my Exacto, what I call my little Exacto situation here. And then I'm going to open my oven. Can you get the oven shot or not? I'm going to open my oven, and without the water, I'm going to put this into the oven, which is my 9x13 and my covered up.
I didn't cover that.
Covered up springform pan with the foil, and there's nothing in my 9x13 right now at all, okay? And now I'm taking it over to the oven, and then with this little gadget here, which is really a gravy separator or fat separator, I'm gonna throw the water in, just about an inch up. And then I'm gonna cook it. I'm gonna look at it in 40 minutes, so. And y'all will not be here. I don't. Okay. Are you getting it?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, mine's in, it's done, and I'm gonna be on 40 minutes here. Now let's take a look at our berries here, so we can see how pretty they are.
Okay.
Okay, ready to look at my berries? My pants off.
Put the pan, yeah. That's fine.
Okay, here's the berries, you guys, with the pear from our wonderful lady who remembered. Thank you again and again. And what's going to happen is it's very soupy right now, which is fine with me. But tomorrow in the refrigerator, it's going to feel slightly and cold. Okay, so we got to get Justin to try the cranberries.
Or in the corner. I wouldn't put it in that box.
Justin likes the cranberries. He remembers them. I can't wait to have them. Oh, I mean, I can taste
Put 'em
that.
on a plate.
Justin.
There you go. Okay, we just did. There's your cranberries.
You can taste the cranberries when it blows, when you can blow it off. How are the beans?
Good, good.
Okay. Justin liked our beans, and he's already had the cheesecake, and now he's trying the berries. Are y'all having fun?
Yeah.
Trying to keep up. I'm running a marathon.
Fast, right? I mean, everything's fast. Boom, boom, boom.
Here, so I asked for the cranberries are getting kind of foamy.
So let's talk about each one. The cranberries can be frozen, as I told you. You can.
And is it okay if it starts to get foamy on the cranberry?
Foamy? I don't see foamy.
Foamy?
Yeah, I heard foamy, but I don't see foamy really. But I guess that's okay. I don't know why it's
Well, when
foamy.
they were cooking it.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, they were bubbling up. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Now let's think of what we can do with cranberries. I love this cranberry cool down over ice cream, vanilla ice cream. That's what I love. You could also put them. What I told, we've already done this Zoom on cranberries before, but I don't know if you remember ambrosia.
Yeah.
I get a lot of orders from ambrosia because my ambrosia is super good, I have to say. And I take a tong, I make the cranberries, and I take a tong and I pull out these more sour berries, you know, that haven't necessarily broken open, and I put them in the ambrosia because the ambrosia is very sweet. And then that balances out, because you know, we don't have sour cherries here. You can always see dark, sweet cherries that are frozen or, you know, whatever, but we don't get the tart
You don't have to have it like that.
cherries that I've ever seen, cherries. And so I use the cranberry. And then, you know, brie cheese, right? You can open up a wheel of brie cheese, and then you can put that cranberry mixture and then put the top of the brie back on and bake it with the cranberries. There's lots of things you can do with cranberries, and they are really healthy and good for you. You know that. Who's tasted it?
Good.
Who said good? Paul?
Yes. I'm also choking on the pear peel.
Are you happy with the 3 recipes tonight? We haven't tasted your cheesecake yet, but it'll be good.
I have a question.
Yes.
Mark says it's good.
Cranberries, you turned it off as soon as they started popping?
Well, you wait for most of them to pop and leave a few unpopped.
Ooh, that is good. Cranberries. Mm.
I have another question on the, crust.
See, that's cool.
Can you remind me, how long did we cook that crust for?
We did it 10 minutes,
All right, thank you.
and then we
And-
cooked. Who's got their cheesecake in the oven? Do y'all all have your cheesecake in the oven?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about when it comes out. I'll show you the prototype. Okay, so let's say that it's finished, and then you lay it on a cooling rack, and you cool it for about an hour, and then you put it in your refrigerator. So everybody knows how to unsnap the spring form. Just unsnap this thing, collar, it's called a collar, and then lift it up. And, you know, mine already has like a piece taken out of it because, you remember I showed you the prototype. Justin ate that piece. Okay, so see, it's really pretty, right? And then it has, you can see your crust line down there. And then you can take a really thin knife, like a thin knife, and kind of go around and get it out. And you could actually put some cranberries on top of this too, which would be delicious with, you know, some whipped cream, fresh whipped cream. So are y'all having anybody over, or what are y'all doing?
With the eggs will make them.
What are y'all doing for Thanksgiving, everybody?
Oh, we're just having our moms over.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. Is mom cooking anything too?
No.
No, she's just coming as a guest. That's
Yeah.
That's nice. So like you can do nothing with this cheesecake, you know, for topping, or you can put some whipped cream on it, or you can put some maple syrup, like a drizzle of real maple syrup on it, or nothing, or the praline sauce
What, this?
is right here. The praline sauce is only like 3 ingredients really: the brown sugar, the heavy cream, and the nuts, and a little bit of salt. So here's the praline sauce, you know, and whoa, it's so good on vanilla ice cream. And so you would drizzle this, you know, once it cooled a little bit. This has been in the refrigerator, so it's a little bit more, you know, congealed than it needs to be. But once it cools down and your cheesecake cools down, then you can drizzle it over. You can do the spoon method like this and then put the nuts down. So do y'all have any questions? We went fast because you're such a good group to work with. Y'all were following along perfectly.
The cheesecake was also cooking at 350 for that 45 minutes to an hour?
Yes.
How do you know when cheesecake's done?
How do we know when the cheesecake's done?
Okay, how do you know when the cheesecake's done? All right, it'll puff up a little bit, and let me just see if she's going to say anything else. Hold on. You'll take it out of the water, you know, carefully. You take it out of the water, and then you won't take that foil off until it kind of cools. And then you're going to chill it overnight. She doesn't really give any special directions about how you're going to know. She says bake an hour, but like I'm telling you, I'm stopping at 40 minutes. But mine's also smaller too. So try 50 minutes or 45. And
So
then,
should it be brown on top? I mean, should it, what is like?
brown really, but you know, it won't be shake, shake, shake.
It'll be solid. It'll be solid.
But okay, I personally like sort of a soft cheesecake. Okay, I know that's weird. So I take mine off and let it cool and set. You know, as it cools, it's going to firm up. So when it's almost done, to me, it's like shakes a tiny bit in the very center, but everywhere else it's set. So to me, that's perfect because once it cools down, it's going to set in the center too.
Okay.
It depends on how you like. You like, are you New Yorkers? New Yorkers have their own cheesecake. I'm a Southern girl. I'm from here, so we like the creamy. I mean, I don't know but I do. I'm used to the creamy Sara Lee kind of cheesecake, you know. But New Yorkers are used to that really firm, dense cheesecake, which I also make, but this one is not that.
Okay.
So it's like kind of like your question is whatever your preference is, you know, if you want to.
Okay. So you can't really screw it up. That's good.
Nobody's going to turn it down if they like cooking. Nobody's going to say you overcooked it or anything like that. And this, and I told you in the beginning that the cheesecake freezes, right? It freezes beautifully also. So, you know, next year in 2021, you could do the cheesecake ahead. You could do the cranberries ahead. So you guys, we're done unless you have something to say. Did you like the lesson?
Yep.
Definitely wonderful.
It looks like everything is good.
Yeah, why not?
It felt like a speed cooking class, though.
Well, I've been teaching since like 1996 or something. And, you know, I've had so many people in this kitchen. I'm so sad that we can't do it anymore, but it'll come back, I'm sure. I usually have 14 people around my island or 10 people. And we have date night. We cook out on the grill. We bring everything in. It's a lot of fun in here, but sorry you didn't get to smell or taste it.
That's okay. This is the next best thing.
Yeah.